I've just left Princetown and I'm heading south into Dartmoor from Princetown. Really should include my routes, shouldn't I, and put a map of my planned walk. And I plan to be out here for one night. I am carrying a much heavier rucksack than normal. I actually have my giant 3-man tent on me, and I've managed to get it all into the same rucksack, which I'm super pleased about. It was the highlight of my day, discovering I could get everything into a lighter rucksack. So I'm about 15 kilos, which is way too heavy for me normally. But I just wanted to come out here, enjoy the blue skies and the sunshine, and explore a different part of Dartmoor. And so I'm venturing into an area of Dartmoor that I've never walked into before. And the plan, I've got aims. I always have aims when I come out. So one of them is, can I go out with the big tent? And camp with the big tent and still be quite comfortable, even though I'm carrying a heavier load. And I've got a couple of rivers, River Erme and the River Erme, which I may follow back. So the River Erme will take me back to Plymouth, and the River Erme to Ivybridge. But because I don't know what the conditions are like, I may just go out, camp, and then head back to Princetown. It depends on the conditions. Or I might go out, camp, and then head back to Sheep's Tor. It's a multifaceted little adventure that I'm about to go on, but the main reason I'm here is just to get some peace of mind, some peace and quiet, give Lucy some space, and play with my new tent. I've always headed north. I've always sort of travelled along the Yalverton to Princetown to Postbridge Road and got off somewhere along there, and normally headed north. To go south is new for me, but you can see the scenery behind me. Although quite bleak, it's spectacular. And it calls me. Tor, which is ahead of me, or behind me. You can see the rocks at distance. It's called South Hessery Tor. Behind me in the distance you can see Sheep's Tor, where I camped last week. And I'm really lucky, blue skies, and really got a bit of that old global warming. It's burning onto my face at the moment, which is beautiful, because we've all missed the sunshine here in the UK, and there's nothing that makes you feel better than a blast of blue skies, sunshine and fresh air. Now entering a ridge that goes all the way around the south part of Borough Tor, and you can also walk it a route called the Abbott's Way. You can join the Abbott's Way, which I will do for a bit, and walk it all the way to a place called Hertford, just outside Ivybridge, which is, I hope, is going to be my final destination tomorrow. But also, the best thing about it, where I've just walked into, is that it's really flattening out. In fact, it's all downhill now, pretty much, to Ivybridge. And hopefully with this flat ground, I can find somewhere to pitch, if necessary, anywhere between here and where the River Erme starts, which is where I'm hoping to camp. But I'm now on the lookout for spots. And I'm on the lookout for water, because I've only got a very small amount of water with me to keep my weight down. And the intention is to pick up water on the way. But so far, most of the water I've seen is no good, but I'm expecting faster moving water coming off the hills, so off the tors, the tributaries, etc., that go down to the River Erme and to the River Plym. And there's still snow up here, which is interesting considering how warm it is and how warm it has been. I've gone off path and I'm going cross country, and in behind me is pretty close to the source of the River Plym, which I'm going to pick up the trail again and climb over to the west. There's a place called Crane Hill, which is in behind me, and I'm going to follow the River Plym for a little while. Off the path, there's some deep, boggy, muddy conditions. Right here, it's not too bad, about half a foot. But, well, I've just walked across over there. It's about 2 feet deep. It might even be deeper, I don't know. That's why you bring a stick with you, yeah? Not just to keep your balance or to help you walk a little bit quicker, but out here to make sure that the ground before you isn't a bog that you can't see. And I have actually been up to over my ankle, but fortunately I'm wearing some gaiters. Anyway, I'm about to pick up the River Plym. Got the sun on my face. Just behind me is the River Plym, and this is where Plymouth gets its name from. This is where gets Darren and Plymouth's name from, and this travels all the way obviously into Plymouth. Right now it's about 1 metre wide, and we're not far from the source, but when it gets out to the estuary at Lara in Plymouth, this river is probably what, 300-400 metres wide, quarter of a mile, so impressive. And I've always wanted to follow the trail, so I'm going to follow it for a little bit and try and get up on the hills behind me, which is where I'm hoping to camp. And I'm hoping that there's some 4Gs. I've got no 4G here. In there is an area of natural beauty that's undergoing some restoration. There are signs, which I'll show you in a minute, that says keep out, because it's a construction site. And they are trying to raise the water table here to reinvigorate the peat that dominates the soil, in order to restore it. Now, I don't know what was wrong with it in the first place and why it's drained, but it's incredibly boggy and wet out here at the moment. Although, to be fair, it is January. So, but yeah, there's signs saying keep out. Look out. Oh, you can't see it. Lucy would call it a light code. Down there is where the River Erme effectively starts, and that was ideally where I wanted to camp. And if I can't find anywhere down there, then I'm going to have to climb all the way back up here. So that's the risk I'm going to take. So I'm going to see if I can go down there to the river. There is some flat ground down there, but whether it's any good to pitch on, we'll find out when we get there. So I've decided, actually, I'll stop halfway down the valley. I actually had to climb up a little bit back up because I lost all signal on my phone. And as much as I'm trying to get away from the world, I do like to watch, you know, a bit of, you know, war propaganda and other awake stuff. Jimmy Dore, darts, UFC. I have my vices. So I need an X, I need to be able to access Twitter. So having 4G signal is actually one of my prerequisites for camping. And plus Lucy worries like crazy when I come out here. She worries I'm going to break my leg. My worst nightmare out here. And so, you know, it's good that I'm able to stay in touch with her. In the background, that's the footprint for the Nortent Ly3, which is the tent I brought with me today. The footprint weighs 750 grams. In fact, the footprint and the poles and the pegs weigh more than pretty much all my other tents. So that's how heavy it is. And actually, I've been good. I've had problems with my back, as people know. And I'm in physio finally with the NHS. It's taken me about 6 months, but I've got there. Great. And I'll get really good treatment. And this is on his list of things that I should be doing. Coming out here and exercising, stretching my legs, and also working my back. Which I've done today, and I'll be glad tomorrow when I finish the other 9 miles. I've done about 5-6 miles today. I'll be glad when I'm not carrying all the water and food and gas, because I'll use all that up as well. So anyway, this is my camping spot, and I'm surrounded by hills. I'm on my way. You literally, there are little tribute trees. You can see some water there. There is, I'll get up. There's water just running down there, look. And they all feed into the River Erme, which actually was my goal when I went to bed last night. So I'm quite excited that I've got here. I'm going to have an early night, and I'm going to pick up the River Erme pretty much at source and hopefully follow it all the way back to Ivybridge. But that's the plan. I've not been travelling light at all. I mean, just look at the number of pegs that I've bought. Hardcore pegs as well. Yeah, I do love a tent peg. My tent up, the sun is going down. Sunset is in about 20 minutes. It took me, if you're interested, about 20 minutes or so, 25, to get that tent up properly, all guyed out and everything. And I haven't done all the guy lines yet. Well, I don't need to, it's not going to be windy. And it's huge. Yeah. But it's not impossible to handle for one person, if you really wanted to. And this particular tent, if I ever found myself homeless, or on the run, or anything like that, and I needed a proper permanent type shelter, even if it was something that I carried on my back, that's the tent. And I actually bought it for that, and so that me and Lucy can go camping together in more extreme or colder weathers like it is today. So we are going to be doing Yes Tour in the next couple of weeks. Lucy's agreed. She has to agree now, because I've put it on camera. This is the tent. Which is interesting, because got a bit of lotus eaters on. Super social, but I feel a bit lonely in a tent this big, I have to say. I'm rattling around a bit. It's huge. I mean, I could just sprawl out, which is nice. But I quite like the tight, confined space of my smaller Pioneer, which is 1.5 men's size. This you could probably fit 5 people in here at a real push to sleep, you know, so that's how big it is. So considering it only weighs like 4.5 kilos, plus that includes the footprint, not bad. And, you know, if there is difficult weather coming today, overnight on Dartmoor, and my internet here is shocking, so it's hard for me to check what the weather's going to be like. I'm safe and sound in here, so there's that. But also there's a giant space to warm up. So I'm expecting it to be colder in this tent. I don't know if I brought my thermometer with me, I can't remember. but temperatures right now are about 5 or 6 degrees, and they are going to drop, I think. There's also a lot of fog or mist sweeping over me at the moment, which is making the fly wet. So my concern is the fly's going to expand. I'm not sure how seal nylon is affected by water, which could cause me a problem getting it back in the bag in the morning, because I'm very, very tight for space. So anyway, and I've also, we even got, how cool is this? Everyone loves their camping's all about gadgets. That's why it's good. How do I fucking turn it on? Oh, so I've actually got a lamp now, which is good. So all good. Back to our podcast and a pot noodle.
Well, from his perspective,
cheers.
Right. It's difficult to legislate
inside the tent, freezing.
And so he says, well, there's a tidal wave of violence online. Video.
I have got my thermometer with me. It's over here. Let's go reach it. Yeah. It's about 2 degrees. It's about 2 degrees at the moment, which is freezing. This is probably the coldest I've felt, I think, out of all the winter camps that I've done over the last couple of months. And that's due to probably the fact that I am in a giant tent. I've got a liner over there, yeah, that I can stick inside my sleeping bag if I need it. It's a bit tight, but it does super adds 5 degrees, 7 degrees to the temperature of the sleeping bag. But I can't reach it. I'd have to literally crawl across to the other side of the tent. And so this will be the last time that I solo camp in this tent in the winter. And I'll only really use it for expedition purposes if I go out somewhere and I'm hiking and coming back, or going on camping trips, or if me and Lucy go wild camping together. And it's a superb tent. It really is a superb tent, but it's too big for one person to be in like this, unless he was using it as a more permanent shelter. Yeah, like expedition, or if you're homeless. If he was homeless, then this is obviously a palace. And where I am, absolutely silent. It's absolutely silent. And there's some water dripping down through the peatland down the hill. Very small trickles of like little streams either side of me. They're all dotted all around, all going down towards the River Erme. I can hear them just trickling. It's lovely. Yeah. You definitely should try it. And for entertainment, the internet's gone, so I've only got 3G here, so I'm watching a rerun of Joe Rogan and Donald Trump as it lasts 3 hours. So I've just got that going on in the background while I sit here and think, and I'll probably turn that off in a minute and go into more of a meditation mode. And again, just to give you some sort of idea how big this tent is. And I'm on a really large mat. It's empty. And then there's enough room for you can sleep on the other side of the door in the vestibule. And there's another one here too. Yeah, it's way too big. And that's my breath. I'm gonna have to get the gloves out. It's the first time I've ever felt cold out camping. So I have got out. It's my blue silk and cotton cocoon liner, and this thing is amazing. So I've already got a pretty good sleeping bag, but I think it's just the size of the tent. It's too big, and my body heat's not really warming it up, and I'm feeling a bit cold. So that's what this is for.
He could keep it together, but
it's all about the layers. That's what it is. It's 4:30 in the morning. I slept pretty well, nice and warm in the end. It's quite nice and warm in here now as well, but it wasn't yesterday at 7:30. But the wind's picking up. It's been raining, and so I'm right now deciding, do I complete my mission and walk all the way to Ivybridge, which is about 9 miles through the river valley, the River Erme, or do I head back the way I came, which is a safe route, and go back to Princetown? So that's my decision that I've got to make at the moment. There's rain, quite heavy rain coming at about 9 o'clock onwards, 10 o'clock onwards, and the wind's also going to pick up to anything up to 30 mile an hour. This is always the best time camping, I find. Lucy likes this time as well, when she comes out with me. It's in the morning, and right now it's about 5:30, and I've had to shut all the vents because of the wind coming through, because the wind's picking up. And actually, sort of tent update, you can see that some water the rain has been blasting through the vent on the other side, which I've had shut. But the inner, although you can see where the water has come through, has stayed dry. So that's good news. And Nortent have put a happy face in their tent, which I thought was quite good. I can see it anyway, but once I see it, can't stop seeing it. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to go to Ivybridge, and you can probably see in my eyes, there that I really want to do it, but I am concerned about the weather. I don't know what the path's going to be like along the river, so and it might be a little bit tricky. So if I bottle it, I'll keep this in, and everyone can put in the comments, you bottled it. I've had a lot of comments saying, oh, Darren, you're not really wild camping, you know, there's a road 5 miles away from you, or whatever. I had it last week when I stayed on Sheep's Tour. Oh, there's a road near you. Yeah, Dartmoor's littered in roads, yeah. I actually planned some of my routes, keeping in mind where are the roads, so like if I need to get off, I can get off. But right now, for all those people who go, you're not wild camping, I'm miles from anywhere. There are no roads. There are just some footpaths that I have to find. It's a bit overgrown. It's wet underfoot. In fact, I spent my whole night last night going, oh God, it smells a bit, and that's because I'm sleeping on top of shit and piss and peat. It really did smell like an old person. So this is as wild camping as I've been, I think. I did a trip once from Two Bridges to Oakhampton. In fact, I walked all the way from Yelverton to Two Bridges to start with. But, and that was on Higher White Tour, or one of the tours behind it. And that was quite wild. But this, no one around for miles and miles and miles. Proper wild camping. And it's good, it feels good. Really windy now, or it feels really windy. It's a big tent, you know, so it catches the wind. Still 2 hours to sunrise. Okay, so you can hear the rain. It's coming down, it's hammering down outside. I think it's just sort of a squall that's gone over, so it's going to pass, but the wind is picking up. And the tent's fine, but I wish I'd guyed it out fully. I only did the main guy lines, and there are 18 guy lines on this tent. I mean, it's fine, it feels safe in here, but yeah, time to go, so I'm packing down. So it's just a quick dull in the wind. I thought I'd record some footage. Dead sheep, but always a bit scary to see. And the tent is there. Visibility is about 50 metres, it's not too bad, but the mist is coming in. The rain is coming in, the wind is coming in, so I'm just waiting for it to just for the sun to come up, so it burns off a bit, and then I'm going to try and find the pathway, which is over there somewhere, and depending on the visibility, I'm either going to head back or I'm going to have a look at the River Erme, we'll see, but right now, it's starting to piss down. Solid. I might just go and have a look at this river. The River Erme just starts up over there somewhere. I've got some sheep coming to join me, look. So time to leave. So I decided to walk to Ivybridge. Being quite brave. I'm descending down in the valley into the Erme River. I've already had about 3 or 4 of these. You can see where the water is behind me. So like little gullies that are running down the hill and they're filling up with water. So the pathway is going to be full of obstacles, and it's about 9 miles to Ivybridge from here. But this is my first proper hike in a long time, and my first proper hike of the year. Absolutely love walking through these granite landscapes. It's amazing. All these boulders, they're just lying around. Probably the remains of a granite mine here. I wish I carried on walking a bit further yesterday, because I think I would have found a more scenic camping spot, and it would have been out of the wind a bit more as well today. And behind me is the River Erme. I shall now pretty much follow this river now all the way back to Ivybridge. The rain's coming in thick and hard. I have 3 water systems going up. I can't get across them, I'll have to go back. 1 down, 2 to go. 2 down, 1 more to go. This is water obstacle number 3. And it's half a metre deep, foot deep. And I'm going to wait for it, and I'm not even going to film myself to it until I get to the other side, but there is no other way across. The footpath ends here, or just up there, where it's a lot wider and a lot deeper. So some of that will go back, and I'm right into Dartmoor now. I'm going to try it. And I'm not actually my feet aren't even that much wet, because I've got garters on. Right, get over the hill. So I can message Lucy to let her know I'm right, otherwise she's going to be freaking. And Ivybridge, here I come. Climbed over this hill, so sort of shortcutting a massive bend here in the River Erme. Hail, wind, sleet, rain, ankle deep water, and thunder and lightning. I've never been so terrified in my life. I was the highest thing on top of the hill. So, and I've just seen over there, you can see the top of the hill over there, the lightning strike. So it's nice and calm here. I'm going to get over, and I'm literally going to just stick to the river now, to the valley. I don't want to be on top of any of the hills. And I was hoping for some lightning or thunder just then. But yeah, never been so terrified in all my life. Definitely my toughest hike to date, this. I think Lucy's doing a nut, because I have got some messages. We've missed each other. I've just spotted the pathway I need to be on. And I think she sent me pictures of storms are coming, Darren. So, but I've almost broken the back of this walk now. I'm probably a couple of miles from a place called Harford. And then from Harford, I suspect it's mostly roads and well-laid paths, which I will be very grateful for now. What I find this place is no wind, water, it's a flat surface, so this will be ideal for camping. And if you go from the Ivybridge end and come into Dartmoor, you'd probably come across this. So I think it's on the camping map. I think you're allowed to camp here. So I'll put this on the places that I should bring Lucy. It'd be really nice in the summer, I think, with the river going by. So look at my route. It's like a different day now, isn't it? I mean, blue skies are out. No wind, it's quite warm. It's amazing. There's thunder and lightning about half an hour ago. Right, so now I think it's a fairly straightforward walk home. I'll just follow the river all the way back to Ivybridge. And I've just calculated the distance. It's about 4 miles, maybe longer. But I'm hoping now I'm not wearing so much and you've got a bit of sunshine. And hopefully I don't have this southerly wind blowing into my face. I should make good time. It's going to take me at least another 2 hours. So for 4 miles. Beautiful. And this is perfect little spot. This building here is for just for managing the waterworks that are going on here. So this is probably Southwest Water Property, but I think it's on the camping map, so I'll have to check that when I get home. The amount of water that comes off Dartmoor is insane off the hills here. Almost down this path that I'm on. Back there was completely flooded, so I was walking through about half of the water. Scenery is breathtaking. It is breathtaking, to be honest. After feeling absolutely terrified on that hill, I don't know what the name of the hill was. It was a big hill that I had to go across right in the middle of Dartmoor. Really difficult to see the pathway, which I lost a few times. I had thunder and lightning raining down on me. Well, it felt like it at the time, and the storm was like pretty much overhead. In fact, we can't see the hill, but there was a lightning strike and it hit one of these hills, and it's probably the first time I've ever seen lightning hit like that as well. I was pretty terrified. And so now I've got a path that's easy for me to follow. It goes all the way up around in the hills. I know that I'm following the river. I've got some easy markers as well to guide my route. And so I am feeling pretty satisfied with myself. I've even got a bit of sunshine, which makes it all worthwhile, because I nearly bottled it in the tent, and that was just with 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. I nearly bottled it, and I was frightened. I didn't know what was coming ahead, the unexpected. Now I've done it. I've come across this beautiful woodland here, which is one of my markers, and that tells me that I'm turning off into the hill a bit to cut off a bend on the river. So I'm almost at Hartford, and I'm almost at Ivybridge, so superb. Behind me, sorry on the wind, there's a giant stone circle, of which I've encountered quite a few, but not got on camera, simply because the weather was so bad. I didn't want to get my phone out just in case it attracted lightning. Giant stone circle, amazing. That stretch, a nice gleaming pathway that takes me all the way, actual tarmac road and civilization. And that hill behind me over there is where the lightning struck. And I can't get my map up at the moment to tell you what the name is. I'll probably put the text in, but I'm glad I wasn't standing up there then. It was huge, it was like that thick. So this is Burford Hill. I can see houses and farms in the distance. Ivybridge is just over there. So this is almost complete. I'm glad we can find a public toilet, because I'm absolutely soaking. My feet are sodden right through. And the best thing, I've been walking for 4 hours. My total journey will be about 5 hours, I expect, which I'm really pleased with, to be fair. 5 hours to do 9 miles across the conditions that I've walked in. But I haven't seen a single person. I'm the only crazy person out here. You know, I haven't seen a dog walker. I haven't seen them running. Sometimes you see the fell runners and the hill runners. Haven't seen any of that. No farmers on quad bikes, nothing. So got a runner and some walkers yesterday on camera, but since then nobody. And that's about to change. Finally, I'm on the road, and I just see my first human as well with a dog. Almost done. I am now at Hartford. You can hear, just down there, is the River Erme, which I'll pick it back up after I've crossed a few hills. It's a lot wider now, isn't it? I'm glad I crossed it earlier. Just one more river to do. One more river. It's amazing to think all that water drains off Dartmoor into the little gullies and stuff and collects to form this torrent of water. I literally just stepped over the River Erme at one point this morning. I wouldn't be able to do that with this one. I wouldn't want to be in there at all. I actually never knew that the River Erme existed. I didn't really know about it. And it's been a spectacular walking all the way along. So, one to remember for the summer, certainly, because there's some really great camping spots down by the river, which I shall be bringing Lucy in the summer, and maybe in the spring, maybe next week. That's the only bridge I've seen over the River Erme, literally since the beginning of my journey. I haven't seen any others, and actually this bridge that I'm standing on is an old bridge. It's obviously collapsed in its age, and I think the other side may actually be all private land, because there are keep out notices, which is a shame, because there's some places over there I'd like to have a look at. Okay, I'm going to call it quits there. So that's Princetown to Ivybridge following the River Erme, and that's probably the hardest walk I've ever done, quite possibly. Exmoor was hard, but this one I was on my own, and I've never ever, I've said, oh, this is the most frightening experience I've had of camping. I've never been so terrified as I was during a thunderstorm with lightning on top of a hill on Dartmoor, literally the highest thing around, and seeing a lightning bolt hit a tor, which was much higher than me, to be fair, in the distance. Yeah, that scared the life out of me, but worth it. Yeah, I'd do it again. Anyway, so that's Princetown to Ivybridge following the Erme River.